Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome back to our online class. And today we are going to learn science. And our lesson is you are going to find out the topic of the lesson. So, ready? Yes. Now, you can see this slide and tell me what can you see or what can you imagine or what type of place it is. Just see the slide, have a look on the screen. So can you see any plants or animals or any living things around here? No. So it's a desert land. It's a desert land. And now children, why am I showing this picture to you now? Yes, because you are going to tell me the topic of the lesson. Now, I'll give one more clue. Imagine a world. Imagine a world without plants. Imagine a world without plants. So the world will be like this with no plants at all. So what would you eat? Do you eat fruits, vegetables, rice? But all of these come from plants. Yes? We get fruits, vegetables, rice, and whatever we are eating, we get from plants. But what about meats and eggs? These come from animals. But what do animals eat to live? Yes, they eat plants. If goats and hens did not have grass and grains to eat, what would they eat here? So, what will happen? What do you think will happen if there were no plants at all? So, what do you think will happen? Yes, it is impossible to live because plants are very important for all living things. So, can you make out the topic? Yes, we are going to learn something about the plants. We are going to learn something about the plants. We get food from the plants. Animals eat plants. And what do plants eat? So, our lesson is lesson number 6. How plants make food. So, we are going to learn what plants eat. How do they make their food? Okay. And now, before we go into the lesson, we are going to learn some new words from the lesson. So, I will repeat or you will repeat. Yes, I'll say the word. You have to repeat loudly. Ready? Yes. So these are the words, new words from the lesson number 6, how plants make food. Shall we start? Yes. Chlorophyll. So I'll give a pause. Repeat after me. Mushrooms, photosynthesis, carbon dioxide, veins, midrib, leaf blade, stomata, oxygen, starch, bleached, alcohol. I repeat again. Chlorophyll, mushrooms, photosynthesis, carbon dioxide, veins, midrib, leaf blade, stomata, oxygen, starch, bleached, alcohol. Now children, these are the new words from the lesson. And by the end of the lesson, so the lesson will be divided into two parts. And by the end of the lessons, you will be able to understand and explain that plants are primary producers of food for living things on earth, and you will be able to explain and understand the process of photosynthesis and the role of chlorophyll in it, and how plants and animals depend on each other, right? So you will be able to understand plants are the primary producers of food or all living things on earth, and the process of photosynthesis and the role of chlorophyll, and how plants and animals depend on each other for the food. That is called food chain. Okay, now let's move into the lesson. And here we have one important person, a famous person that we should know all about him. So he is the man. His name is Jan Ingenhousz. Jan Ingenhousz. So he was born in the year 1730 to 1799. Now who is he? So have you ever heard about him? Yes, he is a scientist. He is a scientist who carried out experiments to understand photosynthesis. So let's know some of the important things about him. So what did he discover? So what did Jan Ingenhousz discover? Jan Ingenhousz was born on December 8, 1730, Breda, Netherlands, and he died September 7, 1799. And children, you must know about him so that you can use in your English subject for the character sketch writing. So do concentrate of what I'm explaining so that you can use and you can write about him. It will be very easy for you. Okay. Now he is a Dutch born British physician and scientist who is best known for his discovery of the process of photosynthesis, by which green plants in sunlight absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Means he is the person who found that plants make their own food. That is the process of photosynthesis. So he has discovered. Okay. Now he learned that plants breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide throughout the day and night, but they produce more oxygen during the day than they use up for breathing. So you can go in the Google and search more about him and you can learn. And what was his experiment about? So in 1779, Ingenhousz discovered that in the presence of light, that is in the presence of sunlight, plants give off bubbles from their green parts. So what is the green parts? Leaf, stem, yes. So some sort of bubbles was coming out. In the shade, the bubbles eventually stop. So only when there is sunlight, the bubbles was bubbling. And in the shade, the bubbles eventually stop. And he identified the gas as oxygen. So what was bubbling? It was oxygen. He also discovered that in the dark, plants give off carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, so and now I hope you must have visited garden, right? Very beautiful garden. So what can you see in the garden? Full of green color with colorful flowers. So it looks very beautiful to see the garden. We all enjoy and love to see the garden. And we get fresh air in the garden. So just now imagine the garden. So how does it look? So most plants that you see are green in color. So most of the plants are green in color. They look green because of their green leaves. They look green because of their green leaves. So children, what do you think makes the leaves green? Why the leaves are green? We don't know. Yes, leaves have a green substance called chlorophyll. So leaves are green in color. Most of the leaves are green in color. Most of the leaves are green in color. Why they are green in color? So you should be able to answer why they are green in color. Because leaves have a green substance called chlorophyll. Leaves have a green substance called chlorophyll, which we cannot see them with our eyes. So that gives them the green color. So this chlorophyll makes the leaf look green in color. Now, did you know that non-green living things such as mushrooms, have you seen the mushrooms? Here you can see some leaves are yellow or brown in color. And here you can see the mushrooms. Did you know that non-green living things such as mushrooms cannot make their own food? This is because of chlorophyll is necessary for plants to make food. Now let us see why chlorophyll is important to make the food. Why chlorophyll is important for the plants to make the food. Okay, so what is chlorophyll? We should understand first what is chlorophyll. So it is basically a group of green pigments used by organisms that convert sunlight into energy via photosynthesis. So plants use chlorophyll to trap energy from the sun. So these chlorophylls are, this is called chlorophyll. This is present in the leaves which we can see under the microscope. So these leaves, what do? There are green pigments. So this absorbs the sunlight energy, heat energy. So how does your mom cooks food? So she takes the pot and she keeps it on the stove and she makes fire first to give the heat energy. So that heat energy, whatever the food is there in the vessel, it is cooked. So same like this, plants also need heat energy. So this heat energy is absorbed from sunlight. So this sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll. That process is called photosynthesis. So plants use chlorophyll to trap the energy from the sun. Means plants absorb the heat energy through chlorophyll. Yes, they trap this heat energy from the sun. So this is called chlorophyll. Now, it is a green pigment located inside chloroplast, the building blocks of plants. So chlorophylls are called as building blocks of plants. It gives plants their green color, and chlorophyll plays an important role in the process of photosynthesis. Now I'll be explaining you what is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is how plants make their own food. That is called photosynthesis. We'll be learning now. And this chlorophyll absorbs sunlight and the plants absorb water from the ground. So chlorophylls absorb heat energy from the sunlight and the plant absorbs water from the ground. Okay, now let us see. Now as I said, these mushrooms, they cannot prepare their own food because they are not green in color. And now let us learn, how do plants make food? How do plants make food? Okay. So this is the sun and this is the tree. They are green in color. There are a lot of chlorophylls are there. So these chlorophylls, they absorb this heat energy from the sun, and the remaining part of the plants, why do we water the plants? Yes, they absorb water from the roots, that is from the ground, and they prepare the food. Now there are some process to prepare the food. Now this is the diagram of the plant. How do plant make food? That is called photosynthesis. This diagram is called photosynthesis. The process by which, so what is photosynthesis? The process by which plant makes food is called photosynthesis. Photo, P-H-O-T-O. Photo means light. Photo means light. And synthesis means putting together. Photo means light and synthesis means putting together. So here, these leaves use water from the soil. So when we pour this water, the root absorbs the water and passes through the stem and the leaves. And wherever the leaves are, they passes the water like this. So it is absorbed from the ground through the roots and it passes everywhere. So leaves use water from the soil. And carbon dioxide. So in the air we have carbon dioxide. Yes, in the air we have carbon dioxide. So plant use this carbon dioxide from the air and sunlight to make food. So what is required? Water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and sunlight from the sun to make the food. So these three things are important for a plant to make its own food. Now let us see what is the work for the water. Why water is necessary for the plants. So the water needed to make food is taken from the soil by the roots. So how does a plant absorb water? Through the roots, by the roots. Then it slowly goes up to the stem and to the leaves. And look carefully at a leaf. So you have to look carefully at the leaf. So here I'll show you the picture of leaf. Yes. When you take a leaf, when you have a look on the leaf, you can see lots and lots of lines on all over the leaf. Can you see the lines here in the middle, then at the side, then small tiny lines. Yes, lot of lines on the leaves all over the leaf. These are tubes. These are tubes. These lines are called as tubes. They are like tubes because water passes inside that. So these are tubes that take water to all parts of the leaves. To all parts of the leaves. So they are called as veins. So all these are called as veins. So this is middle one, this is side, and lot of veins. So this is the diagram of the veins in a leaf. So the one which is in the center, it is called midrib. The one which is in the center is called midrib. And can you see the branches like 1, 2, 3 here? And these are called as side veins. These are called as side veins. And here through the side veins we have a lot of branches, like you can see the roots, like they are called as leaf blade. So in our body also blood is circulating in our body. So how does the blood circulates? Through the veins. Through the veins. So if you want to do the blood test, what does the doctor do? So from the veins he removes the blood. So same like this, the leaf also have lot of veins. It has lot of veins through water which is passes. The water is passed through the leaves. Now let's learn about the stomata in leaf. That is carbon dioxide. When we saw here, yes, carbon dioxide which is present in the air. So on the underside of the leaf. So how does the plant absorb carbon dioxide? How does the plant absorb carbon dioxide? So as I told you, it needs water, carbon dioxide from the air, and the heat energy from the sun. Now we learned how water is absorbed by the plant. Now let's learn how carbon dioxide it uses, how a plant uses carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide is present in the air. Now when you take the leaf, so on the underside of the leaves there are very small openings called stomata. So when you see under the slide, you can see like this. So very tiny small openings. Can you see here? Yes, these are called stomata. That is in singular if you say it is stoma. So when there are a lot of openings, so they are called as stomata. This you can see in a leaf. So these openings are so small, so tiny that you will not be able to see them with our naked eyes. So air enters the leaves through these openings. So the air enters through these leaves. And for the human beings, air enters through our nose. So same way, plants also breathe. So the air enters through these openings. The leaves take in carbon dioxide. So through these openings, it absorbs the carbon dioxide from the air to make food. Understood? Yes. Now let's see the chlorophyll. So, what is chlorophyll? Yes. Chlorophyll, yes, it absorbs the sunlight. So, sunlight provides the energy needed to make food. So, sunlight provides the energy for the plant to make its own food. So, part of the sunlight falling on a leaf. So, some sunlight falls on the leaf and it is trapped by the chlorophyll. It absorbs the sunlight, it absorbs the heat energy. So that is called chlorophyll. So using the energy of the sunlight, leaves change water and carbon dioxide into a kind of sugar. So understood? Water from the roots, carbon dioxide from the air and sunlight. This chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight. And what does this chlorophyll do? So the energy of the sunlight, the leaves changes water and carbon dioxide into a kind of sugar which is the food for the plant. Okay, so this food is taken. This food is taken through the veins. So this food is taken through the veins and the stem to all parts of the plants. So a part of the food is changed into other substance and used up by the plants for their growth, for making flowers, fruits and seeds, and for the repairing some damages in the plants. And the rest of the sugar is changed into starch. That is the starch which is stored in the seeds, leaves, roots and fruits of the stem. That is why we eat all parts of the plants. Leaves also, fruits also, sometimes roots. So all parts of the plants we eat. So they have starch that is stored in the fruits, seeds, leaves and roots of the stem. When we eat from plants, we actually eat the sugar, starch and other substance that is stored in the plants, which makes the food for themselves. The other substance that the plants make the food for themselves. Now children, let's end the lesson here and we'll be continuing the remaining parts in the next video. So click the link and do the assignment and submit it. Until then, bye bye.